when you begin to carry yourself as if God dwells within you, everything shifts. Your voice, your posture, your presence. You no longer wait for permission to burn with purpose. And when you stop waiting, heaven stops waiting too. This isn't a teaching. It's a divine call. If you're hearing this, it's because something deep within you is prepared to rise. You've waited long enough. The stillness you feel isn't emptiness. It's the stirring of destiny. It's not confusion. It's command. A sacred summons resonating from the depths, telling you to stop living like you've been overlooked. You weren't made to play small. You weren't placed here to wander aimlessly. You were sent. And the one who sent you does not apologize for placing power in your hands. The man who listens intently, who returns to these words until they become his new foundation, he will not just improve, he will become evidence, proof that purpose walks the earth in flesh with clarity, authority, and follow-through. So hear this, because the instant you grasp this truth, you'll no longer walk as an ordinary man. You'll walk as one commissioned. You've lived long enough as something lesser than what you were born to be. You've bowed to fear long enough. You've stood in the shadow of hesitation for too many days. But now the voice of mission speaks, and if you obey, not merely hear, but obey, you will never again be the man you were before this moment, because what follows is not inspiration, it is decree, not suggestion, instruction. It is the truth beneath the stories, the delays, the doubts that the world taught you to wear, and that truth is this: you were not made to be small. You were never meant to drift. You are not on this earth to merely survive. You were sent with force. You were sent with purpose. You were sent with God's own breath etched into your being. And yet most men move through life like outsiders in their own story. They apologize for wanting more. They mute their passion. They speak cautiously, act slowly, and pause for permission before they move, not because they're unqualified, but because they've forgotten who authorized them. And the world prefers it that way because the man who walks like God lives within him cannot be managed. That's why you don't hear this truth in classrooms. You don't read it in the headlines. It's not glorified on stages, because the man who thinks like heaven resides in him becomes immune to weakness. He tunes out the noise. He stops waiting. He refuses to serve fear. He walks differently, speaks with conviction, builds with resolve. And when that kind of man emerges, everything that thrives on confusion begins to unravel. You must grasp this. Infinite intelligence isn't distant. It isn't hiding. It isn't sitting in the clouds. It's inside you, but it won't move unless you do. And when you act in sync with the reason you were placed here, when your choices, words, and disciplines reflect reverence for your calling, everything shifts. But this only works if you listen, if you obey, if you silence the inner voice that wants to skim, compare, daydream, or overanalyze. Because the truth you are about to receive is not shouted, it is hidden. And if you drift, you might miss the one line your future was waiting for. Don't let that happen. Hear this with your full focus. Study this like your life depends on it, because it does. And don't just hear it once. A wise man will return to this message until it replaces him. Until God is within me is not just a phrase, but a reality. Until you stand with divine certainty, you are not here to exist. You are here to create. You are not here to delay. You are here to decide. You are not here to ask. You are here to command. And the day you move as one sent by God, you will no longer walk like an ordinary man. You will walk as one on assignment. Now we begin. You were not shaped to hesitate. You weren't crafted to wait around. You were not formed by eternal hands just to question your right to build, speak, and move. Doubt is not your inheritance. Delay is not your portion. Fear is not your identity. Those were taught to you. But the same voice that created galaxies, the same force that lit the sun, did not make you with hesitation in mind. You were made with power, and that power was planted in your mind. Yet most men move through life like they were never meant to be alive. They breathe cautiously, as though trying not to disturb a world that forgot they exist. They wait for permission to rise. They look for approval before they chase the very thing that was put inside them before birth. But the man who walks like he was sent, he does not wait. He does not drift. He does not plead. He does not ask the world to make room for his fire. He moves with it because he knows it did not come from the world. It came from God. Understand this. You were placed here with intention, and what placed you here does not create failure. The eternal source does not manufacture weakness. Power does not produce emptiness. You are not a mistake. You weren't thrown into this world by chance. You were sent, and if you were sent, then within you is something deeper than your personality, beyond your background, greater than your surroundings, something timeless, something sacred, something waiting to be revealed through you. The reason so many men feel lost is not because they lack chances. It's not because the world is unfair. It's because they've ignored that still voice, the one that doesn't shout but commands. And every time it speaks, every time it rises inside, they brush it off, they wait, they bargain, they doubt the very power that gave them breath, and so they shrink. They become spectators of their own life, passengers in a journey they were born to lead. Let me speak clearly. Failure is not your nature. Failure is the result of resisting your assignment. When a man walks against what he was sent to do, when he hears the call but chooses safety, when he senses the fire but grabs fear instead, he will fall, not because he is cursed, but because he is misaligned. There is a law governing the rise of every man. You must walk like heaven assigned you, not with arrogance, but with sacred authority. You must not live as a question, but as a decree. Speak not with doubt, but with the voice of one chosen. This is not illusion. This is not ego. This is your assignment. Don't tell me you're too broken. Every man used by God was broken. Don't tell me it's too late. Eternity is not limited by time. Don't say you need to feel ready. Obedience was never built on comfort. It requires only alignment. And once you align, the provision flows, the strength appears, the doors open, not because the world shifted, but because you did. Take Abraham Lincoln. He wasn't who the world expected. He was mocked, overlooked, beaten down. He lost. He was humiliated. But he listened. He obeyed that inward voice. He didn't act like a politician. He acted like a man of principle. He didn't speak to gain favor. He spoke because it was his responsibility. His power didn't come from strategy, but from a moral fire that came from something higher than popularity. Lincoln didn't succeed because the world opened for him. He succeeded because he walked like destiny walked beside him. And now I say to you, destiny will walk with you if you walk in obedience. God within is not symbolic. It's not poetic. It's not sentimental. It is divine intelligence, waiting to manifest through your thoughts, your choices, your discipline. It is the force that placed you here, not to roam, but to build, not to beg, but to lead, not to drift, but to choose. And that power is not waiting for permission. It is waiting for you to rise, to align, to speak what must be said, and to do what must be done. And when you obey, when you step into life like a man on divine assignment, heaven moves with you. Here is your daily spiritual practice. Each morning, say aloud, I was not made to wander. I was sent to walk in power. Do not look around for proof. Look within. The presence of fire is your evidence. Write your chief aim and place it where your eyes meet it every day. This is not a target. It is a command from above. Every decision today must reflect the man sent. No hesitation, no explanation, only action. Before sleep, repeat your affirmation once more with certainty. I was not made to wander. I was sent to walk in power. Now speak it aloud with clarity, with strength, with reverence. I was not made to wander. I was sent to walk in power. Again, I was not made to wander. I was sent to walk in power. Let these words become your inner decree. Let them silence every echo of who you used to be. Let them strip away the delay, the doubt, the guilt, and the weight of shame. You are not here to carry shame. You are not here to relive old wounds. You are here to walk with direction, to think with conviction, to act with sacred responsibility, because heaven does not hover above you. It lives within you. You are the builder, now not later. You are the voice, now not when it feels safe. You are the one chosen to carry this assignment into each conversation, each hour, each step. And now the only question is this: will you honor the call or will you debate it? Because the command has already been given. The law has already been written. The voice has already spoken. Now go, build, move, walk like one who has been sent. The strength you seek does not land on the idle. It does not fall upon the man waiting for perfect conditions. The intelligence that governs creation, the unseen force, cares not for your feelings or your fear. It only responds to your movement. Understand this. The law is simple. Belief must be proven by action. You can speak of faith, write down dreams, and imagine greatness. But if you do not act, your belief is not real. Faith without action is not humility. It is defiance. It is disobedience dressed in logic. You are not placed here to wait. You were not sent here to second-guess your strength. You are placed here to walk in it. The man who carries himself as though heaven walks beside him unlocks the doors of provision, not by luck, but by acting before he sees proof. Action affirms belief. Delay denies it. Say you believe, but refuse to move, and your subconscious will take note. It does not argue. It only obeys. And so you begin to shrink. You move less. You speak softer. You hesitate more. Soon belief itself becomes a fading memory instead of a living fire. But the one who moves, even while afraid, even while unsure, he multiplies his own strength, because movement draws power. Boldness calls down response. Heaven backs the man who moves in step with his assignment. Do not mistake stillness for wisdom. There is a time to reflect. Yes, but reflection must produce decision, and decision, if sincere, must produce action. Growth begins the moment obedience starts. Look at Thomas Edison. He didn't wait for perfection. He didn't wait for applause. He didn't demand validation. He acted. Over 10,000 failed attempts, and every failure was proof that he moved in belief. Eventually, vision became invention. Thought became impact. Dream became history. And you are no different. That same creative power moves within you. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle when you move. But if you disobey this law, if you speak without action, if you plan without execution, if you pray without pursuit, then you will remain where you are, not because you are cursed, but because you did not act. The world bends to the man who does not wait. It watches the man who walks forward with certainty. It honors the one who acts with intent, not panic, but purpose. You must become that man, the one who moves even in the dark, the one who builds before reward, the one who trusts the whisper within more than the noise around him. Let this be repeated. Action confirms belief. Waiting denies it. And here is your daily practice. Each morning, write down one action tied to your chief aim and take it. When hesitation rises, speak aloud. I walk in obedience. I move before I feel ready. I walk as if heaven moves with me. Track your proof. Show your own mind that you no longer serve delay. Do not explain your movement to those who hesitate. Their approval is not your requirement. And if you say, "But I'm afraid," good. That means the instruction was clear. Fear is the death cry of your former self. The remedy is not comfort. It is obedience. Now say this aloud with full conviction. I walk in obedience. I move before I feel ready. I walk as if heaven moves with me. Again, I walk in obedience. I move before I feel ready. I walk as if heaven moves with me. This is no longer a phrase. It is your pattern, your law, your identity. From now on, no more waiting, no more wavering, no more mental negotiation with the purpose planted inside you by God Himself. Now you move, now you obey, now you act. And when you do, watch how the heavens move with you. You cannot carry divine fire with a divided mind. You cannot walk in authority while hosting every fear, every lie, every contradiction. The one who has been sent guards his thoughts like a king guards his crown, because your thinking is the throne of your command. If your thoughts are weak, your life will reflect it. Most men don't fall because they failed. They fall because they allowed their thoughts to wander unguarded. They left the gates wide open. They welcomed every doubt. They let noise flood the voice of clarity, and they wonder why power faded. But the one who walks as if the voice of God lives in him, he disciplines his thought, he trains it, he commands it. And because he does, he becomes unshakable. Let me give you this law. Controlled attention is the bridge between divine wisdom and tangible result. If your mind is wide open to fear, noise, comparison, then clarity cannot speak. God cannot move through a mind lost in static. You must now ask yourself, day by day, moment by moment, does this thought honor the call inside me? If yes, embrace it, speak it, act on it. If no, reject it. No emotion, no justification, no debate. You are not here to wrestle with limitation. You are here to build from alignment. This is the discipline of one who has been sent. Let me give you an example. John D. Rockefeller. During financial collapse, when the world panicked, Rockefeller remained calm. While others surrendered to fear, he remained focused. He guarded his attention. He did not let headlines redefine his mission. He honored only the voice of purpose, and because his focus was unshakable, his results were inevitable. He wasn't more lucky. He was more focused. And now it's your turn. You must become the man whose mind is trained, not scattered, directed, not reactive, disciplined, not impulsive, because your mind is the very channel through which God will act. If you clutter it, you delay every miracle meant for you. Here is your practice for spiritual clarity. Each morning, write this question. Does this thought honor the call within me? Examine your dominant thoughts. Eliminate those that contradict your assignment. When fear or doubt tries to speak, interrupt it with this declaration. I think in alignment. I speak with purpose. I obey the voice that sent me. At night, review your day. Write how your thoughts either supported or resisted your calling. This is your internal audit. Understand this. The world will never outshout the man who knows why he was sent. But if you let the world be louder than your calling, your life will reflect their confusion, not your purpose. No more wandering thoughts, no more casual mental drift, no more giving space to the voices that contradict the one who created you. You are not a container for chaos. You are a vessel for divine instruction. Say this aloud now. I think in alignment. I speak with purpose. I obey the voice that sent me. Again, I think in alignment. I speak with purpose. I obey the voice that sent me. This is your mental covenant. This is your spiritual shield. This is the line you hold from morning to night without compromise. Because when your thoughts are aligned with your purpose, everything you touch begins to flourish. When your mind is clear, your choices become precise. When your focus is anchored, your voice gains authority. When your thinking is disciplined, heaven entrusts you with greater weight. You were never meant to think as the world thinks. You weren't born to echo the distractions of the crowd. You were called to channel power through purity of mind, and that call begins now. The man who is commissioned cannot speak like one uncertain. He does not borrow the language of fear. He does not weaken his message with hesitation. If a calling has been placed inside you, and it has, then your words must reflect the weight of that assignment. Each time you speak, you give direction to the subconscious, and the subconscious, which governs every habit and action, follows what is repeated with emotion, truth or not. This is the spiritual law of autosuggestion. It's always in effect. You don't have to believe it for it to shape your life. The subconscious does not debate. It does not analyze. It does not judge your intent. It only asks, have I heard this often enough? And was it spoken with feeling? If the answer is yes, it moves. It aligns your posture, your choices, your responses to match the command. So hear this. If you speak weakness, you program failure. If you speak decisively, you activate power. Most people don't fall for lack of talent, but because their speech is disconnected from their mission. They speak uncertainty. They declare nothing. They rehearse doubt in their dialogue and then wonder why their results betray them. They say, I hope, and the subconscious follows hesitation. They say, I'll try, and the subconscious prepares to retreat. They say maybe, and never learn certainty. But the one who walks as if he's been sent must speak another way. His speech reflects decision. His tone reveals conviction. His voice is not searching for agreement. It's delivering instruction. He doesn't wish, he asserts. He doesn't plead, he commands. He doesn't rationalize, he affirms. Let me now give you your identity script. This is not poetry. This is a decree. Speak it aloud every morning before the world has a chance to shape your mind. I am the man who was sent to build. I speak with power. I act with finality. Repeat this daily with belief and passion, and it will rewire the subconscious to see you not as one who waits, but as one who establishes. This will create a new internal image, and that image will draw thoughts, habits, and outcomes that match it. Not because of magic, but because your mind always moves in the direction of its dominant instruction. Let me show you a man who embodied this law, Charles M. Schwab. He began as a worker in the mills and rose to lead U.S. Steel. Why? Not because of privilege, but because of how he spoke. When he opened his mouth, people listened, not because of position, but because of certainty. He gave direction, not apology. His words didn't carry doubt, they carried intent. His speech aligned with his purpose, and people followed. He didn't ascend through status. He ascended through strength of voice. He didn't wait to become powerful. He spoke as one who already was, and the world shifted accordingly. You must now do the same. Your words must be in alignment with the man you are becoming. If they are not, the subconscious will remain divided, and a divided subconscious cannot produce. It hesitates. It wavers. It shuts down. But a subconscious trained by clear, repeated instruction will eventually obey, and that obedience creates identity. Here is your new practice. Write your identity script in present tense. Begin with, I am the man who. Then speak it aloud every morning and every night, not timidly. Speak as if your destiny is listening. Anytime a word of weakness escapes your lips, stop immediately and correct it aloud. That is not who I am. I speak belief. I speak law. I speak what I am becoming. Keep a journal of your spoken words. Track how often your speech aligns with your calling and how often it doesn't. Awareness is transformation. You may think this practice is too simple. That's the trap. Simplicity is the seed of lasting change. A single sentence spoken in full faith becomes law, but only if repeated with fire. Now say this aloud with conviction. I speak law. I speak belief. I speak what I am becoming. Again, I speak law, I speak belief, I speak what I am becoming. Let these words uproot old language. Let them break the pattern of weak speech. Let them clear the habit of uncertain tones. From this point forward, you do not speak your fears. You speak your formation. Every phrase is a command. Every sentence is an instruction. Every declaration is another brick in the identity you've been commissioned to build. This is not motivational fluff. This is spiritual discipline. When your words match your assignment, the world starts to respond. You don't rise by volume, you rise by clarity. You don't rise by hype, you rise by law. You don't wait until belief appears, you speak until belief becomes reflex. You were assigned to speak with power, so speak. You are being watched, not by men, not by critics, not by strangers, but by the very force that gave you breath. You may think your hidden decisions go unseen. You may believe your inaction is unnoticed, but the eye that sent you is never blind. God is not watching to punish but to witness. Every act reveals what you believe about who you are. Every movement unveils what you believe about the one who gave you purpose. The man who compromises when unseen, the man who only performs when watched, the man who waits for validation before obedience, that man remains small, not because the world blocked him, but because he dishonored the one who sent him. Understand this, discipline is not about effort, it's about reverence. It's not simply about pushing harder, it's about honoring your assignment with passion, with precision, with presence. Because the one within you watches every step. You don't give your best because you seek reward. You give your best because you were chosen. In anything less than your full obedience is dishonor. Let me give you this final law. Every act is sacred. Every word is a prayer. Every moment forms identity. You are always declaring. You are always worshiping. The way you speak, the way you move, the way you complete your smallest task, none of it is neutral. It either aligns with your mission or betrays your calling. And when a man forgets who he is, he begins to live as if he was never sent.